Good afternoon. Welcome. I'm Lesley McNamara, and I'm here to talk to you today about how and why does spiritual mind treatment work. Mommy, Mommy, why do birds chirp? Mommy, Mommy, how come we're stuck to the earth? Mommy, Mommy, where does the water go when it goes out of the tap? Mommy, 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 why? We all start out early in our lives with questioning and wondering about our world and how it works. And more than that, we really want to know the why of it. And as a parent, the favorite answer often is that special word, because. Because God told us that's why. And the favorite other one is that the real one, because I said so. How many have said that just to quiet those eyes, those whys, right? Or how many times have we been on the receiving end and not want to have that said to us? Well, one of the things I love about the Science of Mind teaching is that I really get to research and learn about life and the whys of life myself. So I decided to Google the word why to see what came up on the internet. And there was 3 explanations that showed up. The first one was reason or argument. So why did you do that? Well, I chose to walk down that path because it was the one that was the well-worn path, the most trodden upon, and I knew that I'd get back to the parking lot and I wouldn't be lost anymore. So that's why I chose to go that way. So that's one of the explanations. The second one is the use of the 5 W's in journalism. So who is it? What happened? Where did it happen? When did it happen? And the big one, why did it happen? So, and a good example is if we left the why out, it's like there's a police officer, the police chief, he's in the station, he leaves work suddenly, the whole station's wondering why he left. It's all a buzz. Well, why? Why did he leave? Was he mad at somebody? Is his contract over? Like, who knows? So the story's a lot more interesting when we add in the why. So that's what we're interested in. It piques our curiosity. So without it, without the why, the story, the tale, the article is not very interesting and actually really leaves us with more questions. And here's another one. It's kind of actually on Google, it's kind of hard to find upbeat stories with newspaper articles, but here's one. Nutella prices soar amid worldwide hazelnut shortage. Okay, so why? What's going on there? What's the shortage from? Well, the second byline was, bad weather and disease have choked the global supply of hazelnuts. All right, so everybody that loves Nutella can now be sad, and people with nut allergies can cheer. So you ready for a nut joke?
Oh, yeah.
The distraught squirrel lying on his new therapist's couch says, when I found out that you are what you eat, I realized I was nuts. I know. So the third explanation for the word why comes from causality, which is a consequential relationship between 2 events. So causality was often referred to as causation, and that's the relationship between an event, the cause, and a second event, the effect. Kind of sounds like something we read in Science of Mind, doesn't it? So it could be something like this. The dam burst and the town down the stream got flooded. I thought of that one because there was a mine recently that the dam burst and billions of gallons of water polluted everywhere. And that was definitely a cause, the dam bursting, and then the effect of the pollution. So it was interesting for that. Now there is this thing, cause is thinking and then effect is the outcome. So there's a thing we often hear about, the parking lot prayer or parking spot prayer. So that's when you say, okay God, where's my parking spot? And you drive up and lo and behold, there's the perfect parking spot right in front of the store that you want to go to. Well, my brother, he actually says, Brian Tracy, Brian Tracy, Brian Tracy, 3 times. he swears by this, and then he always gets his parking spot. Brian Tracy is a motivational speaker and business coach that he's seen years ago, and he had suggested it to him, and it worked. We tried it one day when we were here in Kelowna, and sure enough, we got our parking stall. So this is kind of sounding like how spiritual mind treatment works. So we have the 5-step prayer that we use. The step 1 is the recognition of the power. Step 2 is unifying with the power. Step 3 is the recognition and realization of what we're looking for. And that is the part where the cause and effects comes into. And then we have the 4th part, which is the thanksgiving, knowing why that our prayer has been answered. And then the 5th part is the release, giving it back to allow the universe to work its, not magic, but to work and create the outcome for us. So Ernest Holmes, our founder, has this wonderful quote. Man is surrounded by a great universal thought power, which returns to him always just as he thinks. So plastic, so receptive. This mind, it takes the slightest impression and molds it into the conditions. We must not only think, but we must know. We have to provide within ourselves mental and spiritual likeness for the thing desired. And whatever is imagined is brought forth from the mind into manifestation. It's beautiful. I love that particular so plastic, so receptive. It's a great description of that space where it's created from. So us older kids, well, all right, us grown-ups, we still have our why questions too. Why did you do that? Why did he or she leave me? Why aren't I married? Oh, why aren't I divorced? Both sides of the question. I can't find a job. Why not? And why did they say that to me? Why do I always have to change? And of course, my favorite from years ago, my personal favorite, fist pumping in the sky. Why me, God? I was so angry, so resentful, so out of control, despairing at the state of affairs in my life, and as if God would answer me back and shout, because you deserve it, because it's your turn, because you aren't worthy, or whatever, negative opinion I was holding of myself at the time. But thankfully, I've learned, and as Ernest Holmes says, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. So why does spiritual mind treatment work? It works because we believe it does. And there's a science behind this prayer thing. There have been able to scientifically prove now that prayer and meditation works. They have this new kind of brain scan. It's called a fMRI, a functional magnetic resonating image. And so what that works in real time, they have the meditators and the prayers hooked up, and they can see real-time results in the brain changes as people are engaging in these activities. It's fascinating. So through these studies, they've proven that it reduces blood pressure, reduces stress levels, it reduces anxiety in people, it improves our memory, improves our attention span. So pretty amazing things are going on these days, and there's plenty of research to support it. But, and I suppose to add to it, people have known this for centuries. Prayer works. And it works because it changes our brain and we believe in it. So thank you. Namaste.